Woo, you're going live a little bit early. Hello, everybody. Welcome to a very impromptu, my beautiful hair today. Anyways, yes, welcome to an impromptu live stream today because I promised I was going to get an MCU ranking out by the end of the month, and doing a live stream is just easiest for me. I mean, Thanksgiving is extremely busy, especially when you work in retail, and that is what I do. So, yes, not a whole lot of free time for me. Anyways, yes, not a whole lot of free time for me. So, yeah, this is what I'm going to resort to because yeah, 41 properties. Yeah, making a ranking that long takes like over an hour to film. Like when I did my 31 favorite horror movies of all time, that took an hour of raw footage. That was 31. So add another 10 to that, it's gonna be like an hour and a half of footage probably. So then have to edit that, and editing takes a while. A lot of people don't think editing takes all that long, but editing is probably the longest part of the process. So yes, might as well do this and see my unfiltered, dumb thoughts as I spew them out of my mouth, uncensored version, unedited, whatever I say, I guess we're gonna roll with. So, yes, so the MCU, my favorite franchise of all time. It's not even close with any other franchise. What franchise I think is best? This has, it, I mean, besides the bottom four. There's only four things on this list that I would give negative reviews to. Everything else I would at least say I like. And to we go from I like to I think are great to I love to which to movies I think are genuinely some of the best movies that I've ever seen. So yeah. Yeah, this is a very stacked list for me. It's a very difficult list for me because a lot of these movies sit in that 4 to 4.5 star range. So yeah, and then as far as consistency goes, I think MCU is one of the most consistent franchises out there. It is my favorite franchise of all time. So yes, we have 41 properties to talk about today, including all 30 movies. If I did the math correctly, I think there's 30 movies, um, 8 TV shows, 2 specials, and 1 group of 5 shorts. I think I did the math correctly. So yes, 41 properties in the MCU. So let's kick this off with number 41, which yeah, I think is quite clearly the worst thing the MCU has produced. But as far as a franchise worst goes, you could do a lot worse. You could be unwatchable. I don't think this is unwatchable, but She-Hulk Attorney at Law is number 41. Yes, yes, the show that everyone hated. Yeah, I didn't hate this show, but it certainly wasn't good. There are some things I enjoyed about it, like the actress who played She-Hulk did a pretty good job in the role, and yeah, I liked the character of She-Hulk. I like seeing Daredevil in here. I haven't watched the Netflix TV shows, but he was a nice addition to it. Um, Also some of the comedy work, there was some stuff that I thought was pretty funny. And then there were like the first 2 or 3 episodes, I was like, okay, this is all right. I don't see why people are saying this is abysmal in the first 2, 3 episodes. And then you get the rest of the season, and it there's not like a real plot line. It's just like episodes of stuff. I didn't really like at all the finale with the meta stuff. Or it's like She-Hulk walking around Marvel Studios. No, I don't need that. Some spotty CGI. So yeah. I mean, it's not terrible. I just don't think it's good. So yeah, the MCU hasn't produced anything that I think is genuinely terrible yet. So yeah. She-Hulk Attorney at Law, not good at all, but if I'm forced to watch, I'll be like, okay, I'll watch it. It's not atrocious. So yeah. Number 41. Number 40, Thor, Love and Thunder. Talk about massive disappointments. You will see Thor Ragnarok way higher up on this list. So yeah, coming off Thor Ragnarok, I was like, okay, Thor Love and Thunder, this is gonna be great. Thor's renewed. Like, I don't know how this could be terrible, or I don't know what could go wrong here. And apparently a lot could go wrong. You get the whole just oversaturation of jokes in this movie, man, is like, come on. Like the movie is like a spoof of Thor while trying to be a serious Thor movie. It just it just doesn't work. And I've seen the movie twice now. It I didn't like it the first time I saw it. I was like, I just don't think I like this. Then the second time I watched it, I'm like, okay, I want to give it a second shot because I've never walked out of an MCU movie out of the theaters and been like, I don't know if I like this. And so I wanted to give it a second shot, went back and saw it in theaters, and I was just like, yeah, I can't get there with this one. I don't I'm like, I really want to. I really want to just like this movie. I really wanted to love this movie as much as I did Thor Ragnarok, but this movie just didn't work for me. There's just way too much comedy in this movie. Um, yeah, I mean, there are some good ideas here. Like, I think Gore is a pretty good villain, and I think if the movie was as like serious and dark as Gore is as the God Butcher, this movie could have been a top tier MCU movie. But yeah, this movie it just really disappointed me, and I don't know, I'm not really interested in Thor anymore, which really sucks because he's one of my favorite characters coming off of Ragnarok, Infinity War, Endgame. I freaking loved what they did with Thor there, but now I don't really know if I care all that much anymore. So yeah, Thor: Love and Thunder, massive disappointment. Uh, Probably the biggest disappointment of the year for me. I don't know. I'd have to look, but yeah, we've made it into the 30s with Captain Marvel 2019. Yeah, this is the movie that every single time I watch it, I think I like it less. I just thought it was good the first time I saw it, but now just every single time I watch it, there's just things about that bother me more and more. There's just like some of the acting that I don't think is very good. I'm not really that big of a fan of the character of Captain Marvel. Um, there's just some stuff that I think is really cringy in this movie. Where I'm like, I don't, that's just, this doesn't work. Like some of the one-liners are just there's just things about this movie that feel off, and I kind of cringe at some parts of this movie. So yeah, there are things though that I enjoy about it. Samuel Jackson is always a plus in a movie, especially Nick Fury, getting to see this side of Nick Fury we've never seen before because it's like pre everything else in the MCU Nick Fury. Um, Getting to see Coulson again is pretty cool. Having the whole 90s aesthetic is pretty dope. But yeah, it's kind of generic, honestly. It's kind of just generic comic book movie superhero stuff. That it's like I don't know if I really want that in the MCU. You know, it's just so generic, and it where it's not even interesting. So yeah, Captain Marvel is going to be low on this list. Number 38, another massive disappointment. Moon Knight from this year. Yeah, three MCU properties in the bottom 5 from this year. So this hasn't been the MCU's year as far as I'm concerned, but yeah, Moon Knight, what a massive disappointment, man. I mean, I think the character of Moon Knight is extremely cool, has a cool look to him, has a really cool like power set, fighting style, um, lore, all that stuff I think is really cool. But this show just meanders and drags so much in like the whole middle section. And even the finale isn't even that interesting. I think the first episode's pretty interesting and intriguing, but after that, it's just like the whole show just meanders. And there's not a whole lot of Moon Knight in Moon Knight, so that was disappointing. And I wanted to love this show. I really did. I want to love everything that the MCU puts out, but this show just didn't do it for me, unfortunately. The whole reveal in the post-credit scene of the last episode was like not even that interesting of a reveal. Like that should have been a plot point in the TV show, not just some stupid reveal in the post-credit scene of the show. So yeah, I guess I'm interested to see more Moon Knight. I'd like to see the character again, but yeah, this show just wasn't for me. I felt so underwhelmed by this show that it was just like like why? Why? We need to put more effort into these shows, guys. Come on, please. There's my beautiful hair again. I don't want to wear my hat like this because then it makes my face dark. Darkness. Let's go. Okay. So yeah, Moon Knight, another massive disappointment for me. I'm gonna say that for like everything at the bottom here, but whatever. Yeah, 37. Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Another massive disappointment. Look, this should have been like an easy win for the MCU. I mean, you have the Falcon and Winter Soldier, the two side characters from the Captain America's movies that had just had great chemistry in all the other movies together. It was just amazing. Like two characters that everyone loves, right? Everyone loves seeing them interact together, like a buddy cop action TV show. It's like how could this physically not be amazing? Somehow it wasn't. Um, oh yeah, I forgot to mention this is where everything from here on up I would give like a positive review to. So yeah, only the bottom four I go negative on. Everything here on up are positive, but yeah, this one's barely scraping by with like a 3 out of 5 for me. But yeah, it just again, just meanders. I mean, yeah, there's some cool action sequences in here. Like the first episode, there's a really cool action sequence with like some helicopters. The whole fight between Bucky, Sam, and John Walker is pretty cool. But the show just kind of got preachy in the last few episodes, especially like the finale of the show. It's just like I don't want that stuff in MCU. Like just do an action TV show with the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Don't add all this other crap in there. Just like please, just just give a fun action buddy cop show with Falcon and the Winter Soldier, please. So yeah, pretty disappointing for yours truly in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Coming in 36th place is Miss Marvel from this year. I'm being so unfair to these MCU TV shows, man, putting them all towards the bottom here, but I want them to. I just want them to be extreme quality, I guess. I don't know. They haven't been the greatest quality. Phase 4 was, I guess, yeah, I guess we're done with Phase 4 now. Phase 4 was definitely quantity over quality. But anyways, yeah, it's number 36, Miss Marvel. I was actually surprised that I actually enjoyed this show as much as I did. Still 3 out of 5. But yeah, I actually enjoyed it. I had no interest in this show at all. I was like, this looks stupid. Honestly, when I saw the trailers, I was like, this looks stupid. I'm not gonna enjoy this, and I was like, this is actually kinda enjoyable, for the first 2 episodes, and then the finale was enjoyable, but again, meandering in the middle with these shows. It it just frustrates me, these shows all the TV shows frustrate me so much. But anyways, um, I like the character of Kamala Khan. I think she's pretty interesting. Thought her power set was pretty cool. Can't wait to see more of her in the Marvels next year. Although I'm not overly excited for that movie. I am excited to see more of Miss Marvel in the MCU later on. But yeah, I mean, like the villains in this show are just like whatever, cool, evil people doing evil shit. So whatever, don't care. But yeah, Miss Marvel, it's fine. It's not awful. Yeah. 35. The one thing in this list I don't know where to rank. I am Groot. Literally, like that 5 minute shorts about Baby Groot. You know, I didn't watch them in August when they debuts. I was like, I don't care about shorts about Groot. They're not going to mean anything for the overall story of the MCU. But I was doing this ranking, so I watched them this morning, and you know what? They put a smile on my face at the end of each episode because of like the punchline of each of these 5 minute shorts. So yeah, they're okay. I don't really see myself ever revisiting I Am Groot the shorts, but they exist. They're fine. Could have been trash, but they weren't. Although some of the CGI in them is a little weird, but whatever. Number 34. Sorry, Ryan. The Incredible Hulk. Yes, me and one of my YouTube friends, RWR Movie Reviews, we did our top 10 favorite superhero movies with 5 honorable mentions. I don't remember where this placed, but this was on his list. But yes, The Incredible Hulk. It's a movie I like. And remember, we're in the positives, movies I go positive on. But it's just not one of my favorite MCU movies. I guess a lot of that is because I haven't seen this movie many times, or I've seen all the other MCU movies like a bunch of times, so I don't really have any nostalgia for this movie. Um, it also just feels not like MCU stuff because it was made by Universal, I believe. So yeah, not really made by the same people, but yeah. But yeah, I think it's a solid enough Hulk movie. I'm not that big on the Hulk as a character, but yeah, if you love this movie, I totally respect it, everything. I respect if you love any movie. But yeah, The Incredible Hulk. It's a good time, decent movie, just not one of my favorites. We're going, looks like we have a comment in the chat. Luke Ponto. What's up, man? What is up, Luke Ponto? With the Heisenberg profile picture. That's pretty dope. Breaking Bad's awesome. What is up with me? Not a whole lot, just talking about the MCU. So yeah, Incredible Hulk. Solid time. Number 33. Uh-oh, here might be a hot take. Eternals. Yeah, so Eternals, the movie that divided the MCU fan base, like polarized the entire MCU fan base. I walked out and I was like, yeah, it was fine. Only saw it in theaters the one time. Um, then I rewatched it a few weeks ago, and I was actually really excited to rewatch this one because I was like, I want to know if I end up loving it or if I end up hating it or if I'm just kind of the same. And you know what? I just kind of came out the same of like, yeah, that's fine. Um, I totally understand both sides of the argument where some people loved the movie. I understand why some people didn't like the movie at all. I totally understand. I'm very firmly planted in the middle on Eternals here. Um, yeah, I think some of the characters of the Eternals, interesting characters. I'm excited to see more of them. Other ones, I'm like, I don't really give a shit about this person. um, I can agree there's way too much plot jammed into this movie, way too many characters jammed into one movie for me to even care about all 10 of them. Um, Yeah, it looks beautiful. It's probably the best looking MCU movie. Um, this is kind of the prestigious MCU movie, I would say, in terms of the just feel of it, which makes sense. It was directed by Chloe Zhao, who just won an Oscar the year before Eternals of 2020. And um, yeah, so it's a movie I like. I mean, we're still on the bottom half of this list. So I don't think it's top tier MCU, but I also don't think it's bad. Yeah, I don't think it's bad. Yeah, there's this piece of hair sticking here. It's bothering me. And see how easily I get distracted? This is what it's like when I'm trying to film shit normally. I'll just like go on really stupid tangents about weird shit that don't even relate to my topic. And then I'll like keep going on about it for like 5 minutes. Like the th thing about my hair, right? That's so stupid. And I like cut myself off mid-sentence talking about Eternals to talk about that. Anyways, I'm a moron. Oh, my mind is all over the place. But yes, Eternals. I like this movie. I like it. It's okay. Not amazing, but not terrible. All right, 32. Mother, if you ever watch this, sorry, I'm the worst son ever. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Yes. Yeah, I'm sorry, Mom. My mom loves both the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, and she says she might prefer this one to that original Guardians. I do not prefer this to the original Guardians. Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, huge step down from that first movie as far as I'm concerned. I don't think the story is as good here. I don't think the villain ego is all that good. It just kind of meanders, honestly, in the middle of the movie. Yeah, it's just not an MCU movie I am yearning to grab off the shelf, I guess. Off the shelf. I think it's oh wait, everything's like reversed here. I think it's like right here. Where is it? Oh, it's right there. It's right there. It's my last G movie before we go to H's. Anyways. Um, yeah. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Has a really good soundtrack. I think it's on par with the first movie's soundtrack. I really like all the Guardians again in this movie. I mean, some of their characterizations aren't as good as in the first movie, like Rocket. I don't think Rocket is characterized good in this movie at all. But for the most part, I enjoy seeing all the Guardians again. Um, what else about this movie? There's also just like on like the thing about the villains, there's no like clear villain throughout the entirety of this movie. Like in the beginning of the movie, it's the Golden People. Then it's in the middle of the movie, it's the Ravengers and Taserface. And then in the third act, it is revealed that Ego is the big villain of the movie. So there's like three different villains in this movie. And it doesn't like that's what I mean by it meanders, is there's no like urgency with one big villain that you feel their presence throughout the whole movie, so whatever. Whatever. Huh. I'm just yawned. I'm a little bit tired today. Even though I took like an hour-long nap earlier today, which I usually don't do, but I did today. Uh, why do my eyes look dark? I should like, I don't have any special lighting for my videos. I just use eh, that light. Oh, there's the back of my chair too. Yeah, I just use that light. I should get like some lights so it can look beautiful. It would light up my shelves too. I may be beautiful, but my shelves are sexy as fuck. 31, Thor: The Dark World, often posed as the worst MCU movie. I do not agree with that. I think this movie is quite entertaining. I have a good time with this movie. Is it a top tier MCU movie? No, it just barely scraped out of my bottom 10 of the MCU things, but I don't think this movie's terrible like a lot of people make it out to be. Sure, it's generic, but I have fun with this movie. I have fun with this movie. It's not like Captain Marvel where it's so generic, it's boring. To me, this movie is just a generic comic book movie, and I can get a lot of enjoyment out of a generic comic book movie. So, plus I like the character of Thor, or at least I did before Thor: Love and Thunder took a giant crap all over Thor. But yeah, so I've never seen the bottom of the barrel MCU movie that I feel like a lot of people make this movie out to be. I think it's quite fun. But yeah, it's just as generic as everyone says, but have fun with it. So we got another comment. Oh my gosh, Mike. Hey folks. Hope you are doing well. Smiley face. Yay. What's up, Mike? How's everything going over in the UK land? The answer, but no, it's not really a question. You didn't put a question mark there. Hope you're doing well, but I hope you're doing well. Yes, I'm doing quite well today. Talking about the MCU. So anytime I'm talking about the MCU is a good day for me. So I love the MCU. Woo woo. Oh, by the way, Thor: in the Dark World is the cutoff from 3 stars to 3.5 stars. I give Thor: the Dark World a 3.5 star. I wish there was a way I could have another graphic on here, but I'm not that smart. I mean, I'm new to StreamYard. Give me a break. 30th place. Iron Man 2. Again, I don't think this movie is as bad as everyone makes it out to be. But again, I have a lot of nostalgia for Iron Man 2. This is one of the MCU movies I watched a lot growing up. It's Iron Man 2, so I have a lot of nostalgia for this movie. Is it as good as the other two Iron Man movies? No. No, it is not. But I have a lot of fun with this movie. I do have a lot of fun with it. Again, it's kind of like generic comic book movie, but I have fun with it. Is it a bit of an Avengers setup movie? Yes, this is true. It is an Avengers setup movie. Excuse me, quite a lot of it is Avengers setup, but it's never really bothered me. Oh, I keep burping. Probably the stupid water I keep drinking. Oh, I hate water. Anyways, um, I lost my train of thought again. Damn it. Ah, I suck at speaking and Englishing well. Um, I like Whiplash as a character. I like Justin Hammer as a character. I like the whole third act battle in this movie. You get War Machine in here, and I like War Machine. So there's a lot of things in this movie that I like. I just don't think it's great. Yeah, I like this movie. 29, Black Widow, the movie that returned to MCU theaters. God damn, 2 years without an MCU movie was like death for me. I live and breathe the MCU, dude. Is like It's like MCU movies are like event movies at the cinema where everyone goes to the theaters and it's like actually packed to theaters. And everyone knows about the MCU movies coming out. And so you have 2 years of none of that MCU stuff. And then Black Widow, and everyone's like, oh my gosh, yes, MCU's back. MCU's coming back to the theaters. I was so excited to see this movie. And it was fine. It was fine. I like the whole spy aspect of it. Loved Florence Pugh and David Harbour in this movie. They overshadowed Black Widow in her own movie, which I guess is kind of a positive and negative because I love both their characters, but it's also a little bit weird that the title character is overshadowed in her own movie, but nonetheless, still like Yelena and Red Guardian. Can't wait to see them in Thunderbolts. Can't wait to see them. I think the third act is a little bit over the top with this whole floating fortress thingy. I'm like, yeah, no, nope, no for me. But when it's a spy movie, I think it's pretty damn effective. Pretty damn effective. Black Widow, have a good time with it. 28. Hey, a TV show that's higher than the bottom five. What if? What if? Yeah, I thought this was a pretty fun TV show, especially for like hardcore MCU fans, people who've been with the MCU for a very long time. Just getting to see these wacky scenarios of what if this one detail was changed, like what would be the trickle down effect in the world of the MCU, what things would change, and it was just really cool to see. Yeah, I really enjoyed What If. Um, it had a really good 1-2 punch of the last 2 episodes. I thought were really dang good with the Guardians of the Multiverse taking down Ultron with all the Infinity Stones. Thought those were 2 really good episodes. So yeah, not really consequential. This is inconsequential to the rest of the MCU, but it was pretty fun. Yeah, it was pretty fun. Just like a little fun novelty thing that exists in the MCU. So yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Don't really have any big negatives with this one, but yeah, I enjoyed it. 27, the original Thor. Yeah, this is a movie I've grown to like more and more. I used to not like it, but I've grown to like it. Um, yeah, I just like getting to see Asgard and being there and just seeing like this pristine, prestigious world that is Asgard with all these with the gods and stuff like that. I just love going to the world of Asgard. Um, so that's always cool to see. Some great actors in here, like Anthony Hopkins as Odin and Rene Russo as Frigga. Yeah, I need another drink of my water, patented water. Excuse me. Yeah. So yeah, as an origin story goes for Thor, not really an origin story, but an introductory story of Thor to the MCU is pretty good. I have a good time with it. I think it loses a bit of steam in the second half of the movie. Doesn't really have the biggest or grandest final battle words. But yeah, it's a movie I enjoy. It's a movie I enjoy. And then our last 3 out of 5 stars before we hit everything. I think that is four out of 5 stars or better. Yeah, telling you, there's 25 things I think are four out of 5 or better. For the last 3 out of 5. I mean, 3.5 out of 5. WandaVision. WandaVision. The first MCU TV show. Yeah, it's a really weird concept. Yeah. Very, very weird concept of a sitcom in the MCU that's paying homage to different decades of TV shows. Um, Weird, but okay. The first 4 episodes I think are all fantastic at building intrigue, but I think as you move into the, excuse me, latter half of the season, again, like all these TV shows, kind of meanders, doesn't have the greatest finale, and is yeah, the second half of the season isn't as strong as the first half of the season, so I enjoyed it. I enjoyed being there for the ride of it, seeing all the theories and just people theorizing about everything that was going to happen in the show week by week. Just like, oh, what's going to be the reveal? What's going to be the reveal? It's just like, that was really something special in January last year. But a little disappointing by the end, but hey, it's still a show I enjoyed. We've made it to the top 25 with Werewolf by Night. Werewolf by Night, yes. The first of 2 special presentations by Marvel Studios so far on Disney Plus, and yeah, For someone who loves horror movies, I love horror movies, and I apparently am yawning. I can't stop freaking yawning. Ah! But yes, someone who loves horror movies. This is about this and another movie we'll be talking about shortly is about as horror as the MCU will get, or hopefully they go more horror eventually. I wasn't flipping things off, I was crossing my fingers, okay? Ah, um, what was I saying? Yes, something about horror, yes. Yes, so this movie is like a horror movie, it's pretty gory. Paying homage to those classic monster movies, the Universal monster movies. So that's pretty cool to see. It's like this very, very, very standalone thing, the MCU. But for what it was, I really enjoyed it. I had a great time with it. Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. Pretty good. So yeah, if you like horror movies, if you like gory things, if you like those Universal monster movies, definitely check this out. Definitely check this out. It's one of the better things the MCU's produced this year. Not that high of a bar, but number 24, Iron Man 3. Yes. I think this movie's great. What is my problem with yawning today? I literally took a nap earlier. Anyways, see what I mean by I say stupid tangent stuff? This is what it's like when I'm trying to edit my footage, is I'll like say stupid stuff like that all the time, and then I'll need to go and edit it. That's why the editing takes so long. So I say really dumb shit all the time. Oh, there's my beautiful hair today. Yes, Iron Man 3. A very, very good Iron Man movie that deals with the aftermath of the Avengers in a pretty interesting way. I love the final battle of this movie. I love how it's kind of Tony Stark getting stripped of his Iron Man suit. It's just kind of Tony Stark trying to figure this stuff out without being Iron Man. Uh, it kind of like a little bit of a spy thriller, I guess, where Tony Stark's trying to figure out the mysteries of who's the Mandarin and stuff, sneaking around this compound and teaming up with that kid for part of the movie, the Iron Man 3 kid that showed up in Endgame that no one knew who he was, except me. I knew. I knew. Anyways, um, oh, that's what. I literally have a shelf over there with Funko Pops on it, and I thought I heard one fall down the other day, but I couldn't figure out which one it was. And I'm looking at it right now while I was talking, and I saw which one fell over, and I was like, "Oh, that's what that was." I'm telling you, I get distracted so easily. I'm not good. I'm not good at talking for long periods of time like this. It's like 40 minutes. I'm not even halfway through, and I can't stop fucking yawning. Anyways, Iron Man 3, really good. Really, 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 really good. Number 23, Black Panther 2018. Yes. Yes. Why is it so low? Why is it so low? Why is it so low? This is one of the greatest comic movies ever made. Why is it so low? Um, because it's overrated. Yes. Black Panther, a really good movie. I understand all of like the cultural impacts that this movie had, but I don't think it's top tier comic book movies. People who praise this movie as like one of the greatest comic book movies of all time. I genuinely don't see what you're saying. Um, I think there are flaws with this movie, like the CGI in the third act. You're going to tell me that this movie has great CGI in the third act. You will lose that argument because there's not good CGI in the third act of this movie. Um, but Yeah, I mean, it's a great movie. I have a really, really good time with Black Panther. It's just I don't understand, like, the 5 out of 5 masterpiece that everyone sees with this movie. Um, sorry, homies, don't see it, but it's a great movie. Really like the character of Black Panther. Rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. But yeah. Uh-oh, got some comments. Oh, let's go. Inappropriate porn bots on the site. Let's go. That's awesome. Thank you. 69 mega.com. Thank you so much for contributing to the conversation in the chat. I appreciate it. Please come back and spread your joy. I'm gonna shut up now before I say something regrettable. Anyways, yes, Black Panther, so good that it summoned porn bots. Yeah, it's a really good movie, just overrated quite a bit. 22, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Yes, my most anticipated movie this year, and yeah, I thought it was really good, and I wasn't necessarily disappointed by it, but yeah, I thought it was really good. It's the thing that is most horror in the MCU besides Werewolf by Night. But my head is itchy. Like right here, my head is itchy. This is why filming takes me so long. Uh, Whatever. Yes, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I had a great time with this movie. I my criticisms of this movie is that I don't think it fully lives up to the title of Multiverse of Madness. You go to like 3 different multiverses in this movie that ain't really madness. Um, yeah, love the character of Doctor Strange. Glad I got to see him again. Love seeing him pop up in things. Um, love the cameos we get in here is pretty interesting too. It's not just cameos for cameos' sake, but it's cameos that made sense in the plot of the movie. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm not as big on Wanda being a villain, but hey, she's a good character. I'm just not that big on her being a villain. But yeah, whatever. No one asked me Disney. I was gonna say Disney knows what they're doing with Marvel, but and I reminded myself we had She-Hulk. 21 Ant-Man. Yes. Love Paul Rudd, love the character of Ant-Man, so I am 100% down for anything Ant-Man is in, Ant-Man related. As disappointed as I've been with MCU Phase 4, I am hopeful for Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania next year. The trailer looks pretty good. So yeah, I am excited for that one. But yeah, Ant-Man, it's just such a fun heist movie in MCU. It's not trying to be like top tier MCU movie. It's not trying to be a 5 out of 5, not trying to be thematically rich like the 2 Black Panther movies are trying to be. It's a very different type of movie than, trying to be the super serious, massive stakes MCU movie. No, it's just a fun heist movie, a fun cast, cool character, cool set of skills with the whole shrinking stuff. Do a lot of cool things with that. So yeah, it's just a really, really good um heist movie in the MCU. I always have a blast with it. We've made it to the top half of this list with Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Yep, I prefer this one over the original. Sorry, homies that love that first one, but yep, I think this one is better than the original Black Panther. I think they have a really respectful send-off, I guess, to Chadwick Boseman's T'Challa, and this movie is an extremely, extremely respectful movie to him. So I love what they did with that. I thought Namor was a really cool villain in this movie. I thought like exploring like everyone's grief and the loss of T'Challa was really interesting too. It's very heartfelt, very emotional, very mature movie. But I think the storytelling in the middle of the movie is a little bit clunky. I'm not too big on Ironheart. She wasn't terrible, but she wasn't amazing either. Again, there's not terrible CGI in this movie like there was in the first Black Panther, but there's some get to the final battle, there is some spotty CGI in there. I don't think the action sequences in this movie are all that interesting either. I mean, like they're fine, but they're not great. They aren't all that memorable action sequences. Like, yeah, I'm sorry. Sorry. Sorry, homies. It's a good movie. It's a really good movie. Not amazing. 19, Spider-Man Far From Home. Yes. Again, really enjoy this movie. I think it's a very good follow-up to Endgame. Seeing how, like, just how people dealt with the events of Infinity War in Endgame, like the general public, with people disappearing and then people reappearing. So that's really cool to see. Um, I think Mysterio is a pretty cool character in this movie. It's like this con man superhero, the fake superhero. That was really interesting. And I like the character of Spider-Man. I like Tom Holland's portrayal of the character. Um, Spider-Man is not one of my favorite characters, but I enjoy seeing him. Um, and that all three of the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies are just really fun, and I enjoy them. I don't think there's a bad Spider-Man movie yet. I even like Amazing Spider-Man 2. Everyone seems to hate that movie, but I don't. I actually enjoy that movie quite a bit. So, um, yeah, Spider-Man Far From Home I enjoy. I like the whole hopping across Europe stuff. Yeah, I have a blast with this movie. I have a slightly bigger blast with Spider-Man Homecoming though. That's why it's my number 18. This was the first Spider-Man movie I ever watched. So it's a little bit of a weird place to start in your Spider-Man watching spree, I guess. I don't know, man. But yeah, Spider-Man Homecoming great. Gives us one of the best villains in the MCU with the Vulture. Um, I like Tony Stark in this movie kind of being the mentor to Peter Parker. I like seeing Spider-Man balancing like the school life with being Spider-Man. I think is pretty interesting. There's some pretty good action sequences in this movie. There's a lot of funny moments in this movie. This has a great twist with revealing the Vulture to be Liz's dad. It's pretty dope. And I saw that in the theater. I was like, oh, I was like, what? I remember that. I remember that even though I saw that movie in theaters over 5 years ago now. Damn, I feel old. I still remember that twist and being shocked and just blown away by it. Yeah, Spider-Man Homecoming. Great Spider-Man movie. 17, the best thing the MCU has produced this year. the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special. What a fun thing to do with the Guardians of the Galaxy. It's inconsequential pretty much to the rest of the MCU besides one reveal that I'm sure will be explained more and explored more in Guardians Volume 3. But this it's just fun. Like, you know how TV shows always have like the Christmas episode, like The Office always had the Christmas episode. Um, this just feels like that. The Guardians of the Galaxy TV show Christmas episode, but it's one-off thing. So yeah, I thought it was great. It's something that I foresee myself rewatching around Christmas time every year because I thought it was great. Yeah, and it's my favorite thing the MCU's produced in year 2022. Favorite thing came out this year. Number 16, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. One of the bigger surprises of the MCU. I've not really been into martial arts movies. Haven't seen a whole lot of them. Probably the first one I ever saw, being honest, and it was really good. The fight sequences were amazing in the movie. I love the character of Shang-Chi. I physically cannot wait to see him again. Um, I thought Wenwu was a really good villain. The real Mandarin. Um, and I like seeing these more fantastical elements, I guess, of the MCU. I wasn't big on it at first, like all these different wacky worlds that we were going to be going to and stuff, but the more I sit on it, eh, you know, let me rephrase what I'm trying to say. The first time I saw this movie, I wasn't as big on the fantastical elements of the movie, like going to this different dimension with all these weird creatures and stuff in it. I wasn't that big on it the first time I saw it, but the more I just sit on this movie, the more I like it. So, yeah, I foresee this movie moving up higher in my ranking as time goes on, but yeah, I think it's a solid MCU movie. It made me like martial arts movies as the first one I ever saw, and made me love Everything Everywhere All at Once, which is also a martial arts movie. So, yeah, thank you, Shang-Chi, for introducing me to the show Yo and martial arts. Yeah, Shang-Chi's great. Number 15, Ant-Man and the Wasp. Yes, this movie is a blast. Coming right off of Avengers Infinity War, which is arguably as big of scale as you can get in the MCU. Then you go down to Ant-Man and the Wasp, which is just this MacGuffin movie, like such a simple movie right after one of the biggest movies in comic book movie history. Yeah, this movie is just so much fun. You have like all these different factions trying to get this one thing, and they're all just like fighting each other and whatever. It's just a blast. I have a blast with this movie. Again, love Paul Rudd as Ant-Man. I just want to see Ant-Man in everything. Ant-Man in every MCU project. No more Wong in everything. Only Ant-Man. Um, but yeah. Um, love the introduction to Wasp. She's a pretty cool character. Love the introduction of Jimmy Woo in here, and it's just as fun as the first Ant-Man. Um, well, it's more fun than the first Ant-Man, but it's just as funny and all the fun comedic stuff that you would wish that you'd get from a movie starring Paul Rudd. So yeah, it's great. I'm running out of things to say. It's been like an hour. We still have 14 left. I'm not good at expressing my thoughts on YouTube, but whatever. I try. Number 14, Captain America: The First Avenger. Um, yes, probably one of my favorite. Yeah, Captain America is probably my favorite character in the MCU. So just getting to see his origin story of becoming Captain America, getting the shield, going through World War II, and then getting stuck in time, like stuck in the ice, and then frozen, whatever, stuck in time, and waking up. I think that story's great. It's also one of the MCU movies I've watched the most. I've watched all the Captain America movies. It's probably the trilogy of MCU movies I've watched the most, so I'm very, very familiar with the Captain America movies. I have a lot of nostalgia for them, so yeah, I think the action in here is great. I think the World War II aesthetic is great. There's just so many great things about this movie that it's definitely a top tier MCU movie. All these years later, over a decade later, it's still one of the best movies the MCU has produced. My humble opinion. Speaking of great beginnings to the MCU, great character introductions, the original Iron Man in 2008. As low as number 13, are you smoking crack? Not currently, but no, I don't do crack. I don't do crack. I take Flintstone gummies. Yes, you can't take away from the legacy of this movie. This movie is, for all intents and purposes, started, I guess, the I want to say the modern comic book movie era, but I guess that was a little bit earlier with like Blade, Spider-Man, X-Men. It started the MCU. Okay, it started the MCU, which is the biggest franchise of all time. Um, so it definitely has a legacy there. Still holds up. It's a really, really good movie. And it can just tell its own story without having to adhere to the complex MCU lore at this point. Yeah. Hold on a second, I'm gonna check something. Beep boop boop boop. Okay, good. Sorry about that. Just check something. Um, yeah, I've always really enjoyed the first Iron Man movie. It's just, um, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just not that big on the character of Iron Man. I think it is a great character. I've always enjoyed seeing the character of Tony Stark, Iron Man, but he's just never been one of my favorites. So, yeah, I really like Iron Man, but it's just not top tier as far as I'm concerned. Suddenly I'm British now, not Australian. There's two fuckers across the ocean there. Pick which ocean you want to go across. Number 12, Hawkeye. Damn, this show is awesome. This is what the MCU shows should be. They should be like Hawkeye, where it's just a really fun side story. You know, it, I mean, take a character like Hawkeye who's been there since 2011. So after a decade, you finally give him his own like property to star in, and it's just like this little side quest of him dealing with the aftermath of what he did between Infinity War and Endgame as a Ronin. He introduces Kate Bishop, who's a great character played by Haley Steinfeld, who's amazing. Um, Get some awesome action sequences in here. Get some really funny moments in here. You get Kate and Yelena, who is one of the best duos in the MCU. Cannot wait to see those two interact again with each other. But yeah, I thought this show was great. This was just so fun to watch week to week. Hey, we hit an hour, anyways. Yeah, this is what I want the MCU show's quality to be like, is like Hawkeye, and the next thing on this list, which is the highest MCU show on the list, Loki. I thought Loki was incredible. Um, every single week, I was just intrigued. Except for one of the episodes, episode 3, I didn't like all that much, but every single week, I was 100% invested in this show. It's the most important MCU show. Um, it's really cool to see all these variants, all these timelines, the lore, the TVA, actually getting to see Kang actually meaning something, like unleashing the multiverse at the end of this show. Like this show is so important, and it's just I was very skeptical. Why are we making a show about a character that actually died in Infinity War for real and then died like 15 other times in the MCU? Why is he getting his own show now after he actually died? But they pulled it off. I thought it was great. There again with yawning. Okay, we got 10 more to go. But again, I thought it was great. So yeah, it's been my favorite Disney Plus thing they've produced for the MCU. It's my favorite TV show in the MCU, and it almost made it to the top 10 of the MCU. I freaking loved Loki. Now from here on up is everything that's 4.5. Yeah, the next 5 are 4.5 out of 5s. And the top 5 are all 5 out of 5 stars, which no other franchise has 5 out of 5 movies for me. I think the next closest franchise would be the Terminator franchise with T1, T2, Terminator Dark Fate, which I think's a flawless 5 out of 5 trilogy. Then there's those 3 others. Number 10, Doctor Strange. Yep, I love the first Doctor Strange. I love the visuals of this movie. I love the character of Doctor Strange. I just, I love going to this world of the mystic arts. I think Tilda Swinton's awesome in this movie. I think Caecilius is an okay villain. I don't hate him. I don't think he's dull, terrible, whatever, like a lot of other people say. Um, but yeah, I love Doctor Strange. It's one of the MCU movies I revisit the most. Yeah, and I want more Doctor Strange. I'm always looking for more Doctor Strange stuff. So yeah, I don't really have a whole lot negative to say about this movie. Let's try and find something negative to say about it. How about that? I don't know. I don't know. We're kind of hitting that point where there's not a whole lot negative to say about these stuff, about these properties. Well, they're all movies from now on, so yeah. Number 9, The Avengers. Yay. Um, yeah. If you're keeping track, this is the first of the Avengers movies on this list. Yes, this is my least favorite Avengers movie while still being a 4.5 out of 5 stars. I love all 4 of the Avengers movies. Yeah, this is the movie that proved that the MCU can exist and that it was special and that we were in for something amazing in the next few years with phases 2 and 3. And well, then we got phase 4. But anyways, yes. The Avengers, just what an amazing achievement. Culminating phase 1 to the Avengers, and it absolutely paid off. It's so much fun to see all these characters interact for the first time. It's really funny. You get a lot of awesome team ups. That whole third act is amazing. It's kind of like a comic book movie nerd's dream, or just a comic book movie enthusiast's dream back in 2012. But yeah, I mean, 10 years later, still holds up. There's a little bit of spotty CGI with the Chitauri at the end there, but yeah, whatever. The rest of the movie's awesome. Number 8, Avengers: Age of Ultron. Yes, probably this might be my most unpopular pick on this list, but I genuinely love Avengers: Age of Ultron, and I like it more than the first Avengers movie. Yes, this is me going on record saying that. But yeah, I think everything about the first Avengers, I think this movie just does a little bit better. I think it has better action sequences. I think it has a better um, disposable army in Ultron than the Chitauri. I think Loki's a better villain than Ultron, but I like the disposable army for the third act of the Ultron robots better than the Chitauri. So whatever. I like the character interactions more. Like the fight sequence is better. I like the team ups better. I like the story better. Yes, there's a lot going on in this movie, but I think it works. Works for me. I also have a lot of nostalgia for this movie. This is the Avengers movie I watched most growing up because we didn't have the first Avengers movie, and so when I wanted to watch an Avengers movie, watch Age of Ultron. So maybe it's because of nostalgia, but whatever. Still a movie I love. Number 7, the most recent movie on this list. Spider-Man: No Way Home. Or I guess, yeah, the only most recent, the only movie of Phase 4 that made it this high. Oh god, Phase 4. Look, I don't hate Phase 4, but it's probably my least favorite phase anyways. Yes, Spider-Man: No Way Home. Just what a fun, incredible gift to Spider-Man fans, to superhero movie fans. Like, this, along with Avengers: Endgame, are probably the greatest theater experiences I've ever had in my entire life. Like when Toby and Andrew show up, it's just like the theater went nuts for like 2 minutes straight. Just people cheering, jumping out of their seats and shit. It was like insane. And it it works. It's not just they're just there for cameos. It's like they make sense in the story they're telling to be there, along with all the other villains. And then you get this awesome final battle where it's all three of our Spider-Man actors facing off against all the villains from all the different Spider-Man movies. It's just it's so much fun. Like, is the first half a little meandering? Is the setup as good? Is it? Let me rephrase it. Is the setup as good as it could be? No, probably not. But I don't. I just don't care. Okay, I don't care because when you move to that second half, it's just so much fun. It is just a blast to see the Spider-Man fan service. Number 6, Guardians of the Galaxy. This is the MCU movie that I have the earliest memories of seeing in theaters. I don't know if I saw any before this, but this is the one I have earliest memories of. Um, yeah, it's great. One of the best movies in the MCU. Such a wacky set of characters. You have a talking tree, a talking raccoon, a green chick, a gray chick, or not gray chick, a gray dude who's a wrestler IRL, and then the the Kevin Bacon enthusiast. um, yeah, it's such a weird set of characters, but damn, this movie's awesome. It's got awesome action sequences. Just introduces us to this cosmic side of the MCU. Has one of the greatest soundtracks ever made. Um, yeah, it's just great. One of the best comic movies of all time. In this movie being this high is probably one of the main reasons why I was very disappointed by Guardians Volume 2 because I love this first Guardians of the Galaxy, and so yeah, it made me very disappointed with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, but so very excited for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Yes, let's go. Top five. Top five. Here, let me pull this thing off. Ooh, I am tired now. I keep freaking yawning. My stretchy stretches. Okay, the next five movies on here are all 5 out of 5 star movies. I have zero negative things to say about them, so we were going to breeze through these. Number 5, Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Yes, it's the incredible, incredible action sequences, amazing story. Probably when I think of Captain America, I think of moments from this movie the most, like that elevator fight sequence, the whole fight sequence in the middle of the street is awesome. Um, this is probably the Captain America movie I've seen the most. Yeah, I love the spy espionage kind of stuff where they're on the run throughout most of the movie. I love the third act of this movie. I think the villain's great. It kind of flips the whole MCU on its head with the reveal that Hydra is Shield. It's just one of the greatest comic book movies ever made. It's just a phenomenal movie. It's just a phenomenal action movie. And when I think of Captain America, I think of moments from this movie the most. But I like Captain America: Civil War just a tiny bit better. I don't know. 4 and 5 are pretty interchangeable for me. Um, yeah, up until this point, this was the biggest movie the MCU was ever gonna have, ever had. Like most hype anyone had been for an MCU movie. Like you have all your heroes, like all your action figure toys, and you just smash them together, and that's basically what the airport fight sequence of this movie is, and that is so entertaining. To see all of our favorite heroes pitted against each other in a way that is believable, other than they're just fighting each other because that is something cool to see. No, it actually makes sense based off of all the other movies before this movie. You understand why our characters um have different viewpoints on the Sokovia Accords and why that would lead them to fight and stuff. So it's incredible, man. Like I don't really know what to say. I don't know what to say about these. This is why I suck. I suck at rankings. Grr. I should delete my YouTube channel. No, but yeah, Captain America: Civil War. Yeah, I was I yeah, I was in love with this movie the first time I saw it, and I've been in love with it ever since. And the Captain America movies is one of my favorite trilogies of all time. I think they get better with each one. So yeah. Number 3, Thor Ragnarok. God damn, this was a big surprise for me. This has always been one of my personal favorite MCU movies. I just have such a blast with this movie. This is probably the funniest and most fun MCU movie. The biggest surprise in the MCU probably. Like I was like, because I just like the first 2 Thor movies. I think they're good movies. But damn, I wasn't expecting to love. Excuse me, this stupid burping, yawning crap needs to stop. But yeah, Thor Ragnarok I just thought was incredible. It is my favorite Thor movie. It will most likely probably remain my favorite Thor movie unless if they keep giving us stuff like Thor: Love and Thunder. But yeah, the soundtrack here is awesome. I love the color scheme of this movie. I love the story of this movie. It's a pretty emotional, important movie in the MCU. Um, it's it is easily the best of the Thor movies, and to me, it's one of my personal favorite movies in the MCU. I love this movie, and this is the movie that made me love Thor and love his character. Now, let me take a drink. Water. Woot woot. Top two of the MCU. These will probably always be my top two of the MCU. They are probably a lot of people's top two of the MCU. Um, yeah, not only are they my top two favorite movies in the MCU, but I have said for quite a few years now that these are my top two favorite movies of all time. Back in October, when I aged to 20 years old, on October 5th, I posted my top 20 favorite movies of all time, and these two movies were my number one and two, but uh, my number three on that list was Watchmen, so Watchmen might overtake these movies at some point because I love that movie in a way that I cannot physically describe in words. So, as of right now, Watchmen's my third favorite movie of all time. But my second favorite MCU movie and second favorite movie of all time, Avengers Endgame. God damn, this movie's fucking awesome. I saw this movie 12 times in theaters. Like, yeah, I understand that that is insane, that you should never see a movie 12 times in theaters, but the third act, man, the third act is probably the greatest thing that's ever been put to screen in cinematic history, as far as I'm concerned. Like, it's it is. I don't I don't know how the MCU can ever top the third act of Avengers Endgame. Like, honestly, I honestly don't know how. I don't know how. I don't know how. Any movie theater experience will ever beat my theater experience for Endgame. Like that whole last hour, it's like the whole last hour is like the greatest thing ever. But then you have the whole like 2 hours in front of it, which is all really, really, really good stuff that I all love too. It's just such a gift to fans of the MCU, this movie. Um, it is the perfect conclusion to the Infinity Saga. Um, it it's perfect. This is one of those movies I think is perfect, and it holds up. I watched this movie a few weeks ago, and I I'm being dead honest right now. I found it extremely hard to like not want to jump out of my chair at home and go like yes at like moments in the third act. It's like it's just it's just so amazing what this movie is. It it just wraps everything up in the MCU so perfectly up to that point in time. And as much as I love the MCU, as much as I will always go watch new things in the MCU, there's a piece of me that kind of wishes they stopped with Endgame, wishes they had stopped with Endgame and didn't really do anything after it because they could have had like a damn near flawless um, storyline there, like a culmination. 22 movies could have like the perfect franchise there as far as I was concerned. But yeah, Avengers Endgame, amazing, amazing movie that I love so much. I saw it 12 times in theaters. But of course, number one, Avengers Infinity War. What I often say is my favorite movie of all time. I question that every time I watch Watchmen, but as of right now, favorite movie of all time. So it kind of defaults to the top of this list. But yeah, it gave me Thanos. Thanos is one of my favorite film characters of all time. Definitely top three. I love Thanos. Um, you finally get to see all the characters together for the first time. It's like what we have been waiting um, for years. Pretty much is seeing everyone interact for the first time. The Avengers with the Guardians, with Doctor Strange, with Black Panther, just like all these people together interacting. It's just like this is amazing. Um, it's a very fast-paced movie. It's 2 hours and 45 minutes, and it goes by so fast because there's a lot going on in this movie, but it's not so fast to where it's skipping over things. It's it's perfectly paced, honestly. Um, there's not really a slow moment in this movie. It's action-packed. Um, there's a lot of heartfelt moments too here. There's amazing action in here. And it has one of the best endings in superhero movie history, where Thanos wins, wipes out half the universe, and our Avengers lose. I love that ending. I have argued so many times with my mother that this movie is a complete story because the movie is about Thanos getting the Infinity Stones, or who's going to get the Infinity Stones. The answer is Thanos, and Thanos wins at the end. The movie's a complete story, okay? Sorry, Mom, you're going to lose this argument with me every single time we have it. But yes, Avengers Infinity War. My favorite movie in the MCU, my favorite movie of all time. So it comes in at number one. Woo! We have done it. We have done it. My very intelligent rambling about the MCU. God damn it, it's back again. Oh, wait, never mind. Anyways, sorry, I thought the porn bot was back. But yes, thank you for checking out my ranking of the MCU. If you watched all an hour and 21 minutes of it, you are a true one. Yes, thank you so much for watching my ranking of the MCU. This is the way I've decided to present my ranking of the franchise. In the year 2022, I'm probably not going to do as many rankings because it just take up a lot of time, but yeah, I am going to get a review for Violent Night out this week. I know I haven't posted a video in like 2 weeks, thanks it's Thanksgiving, but yes, Violent Night, really looking forward to that. Review will be coming out Friday, so yes, thank you so much for watching, and as always, have a great rest of your day. I fucked that up. As always, thank you so much for watching, and have a great rest of your night. I can't speak! And as always, thank you so much for watching, and have a great rest of your day. Nailed it, third time's a charm. Peace out.